let's look at graphing a linear function and its inverse. So first, to do this, we obviously need to know how to graph a line. And once we graph that line, we're going to use the concept of an inverse of taking the point xy and changing it to yx to find 2 points on the inverse function. So let's first start with graphing this original function. This is a linear function, so let's go back and remember how we did that. Remember, this relates to y equals mx plus b. So our y-intercept here can be one of our points. Remember, b is -1, so our y-intercept is 0, -1. And our slope is going to be 2. And remember, this is 2 over 1, so that means we're going up to right 1. So let's graph this point, 0, -1. That's our y-intercept. And then let's do our slope up to right 1. So up to right 1 is here. And based on the directions, we're graphing the original function with a dotted line. Now, if you have this in the homework, it will probably make both of them solid, and that's fine. You just go with what it has. Okay, what do we need to graph a line? We need 2 points. We were able to find the second point on the original function by using the slope. But when I want to find the inverse, or be able to graph the inverse, I need to actually identify what those 2 points are. So we already have 1 point. It is 0, -1. What is our other point that we found right here? So name that point. Write that point down. That point is 1, 1. Now, to find the inverse, f inverse of x, we are not actually finding the inverse formula. We'll do that in a different problem later, but we do want to basically take these 2 points that we just have on the original and find the inverse of each of those points. So 0, -1 is going to now become -1, 0. And 1, 1 becomes still 1, 1, because when we swap it, it ends up being the same thing. Now, let's graph this one. And this one is saying solid line. So this would be -1, 0. And then 1, 1. It's okay if it's the same. We're going to now use those 2 points and graph this with a solid line. Okay, so this is what the function and the inverse graphed on the same graph looks like. Make sure to read and follow directions in your homework, but let me give you one other additional piece to all of this that you don't know, and that is that there is a line of reflection here. It is not anything we've seen before. It is actually the line y equals x. So y equals x means that anytime the x and y values are the same, that's a point on the line. So 1, 1 is a point, 2, 2 is a point, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. And I'm not saying that a point on the function that we're given, but a point on this line of reflection. So really quickly, this is what our line of reflection is. And I think once I draw this out, you're seeing that this pink and blue graph, the original and its inverse, are reflecting over that line. And that is why you can just swap the x and y values to get the inverse. Okay?